You've probably heard that eating a little meat each day is harmless, maybe even healthy, right? But what if I told you that some of the most popular meats in America, the ones most seniors eat every single week, could actually be quietly damaging your heart, your brain, and even your memory? Hi, I'm Dr. Miller, and if you're over 60, this video could genuinely change the way you think about what's on your plate. Because new research shows that certain types of meat, the ones that fill our breakfast plates, our sandwiches, and our dinner tables, may be driving up inflammation, blood pressure, and even your risk for stroke, without you realizing it. And here's the real shocker. These meats are often labeled as lean, low fat, or healthy. But studies from Harvard and the American Heart Association are now showing that some of these so-called healthy options might raise your risk of heart disease by as much as 56%. Don't worry. This isn't about giving up meat. It's about knowing which meats to avoid, and which ones can actually help you age stronger, protect your memory, and keep your muscles healthy as the years go by. So stay with me, because in the next few minutes, we'll break down the 4 worst meats that most people over 60 should never touch, and the 4 best you can safely enjoy every single day to support your heart, brain, and longevity. Ready? Let's start with something that's probably sitting in millions of refrigerators right now. And it's one of the sneakiest health traps of all. Now, I know this might sound surprising. After all, we've been told for decades that a little meat never hurts. But the truth is, more and more studies are proving otherwise. In fact, a major review from Harvard tracked over 100,000 adults for nearly 2 decades and found that those who ate certain processed meats just twice a week had a dramatically higher risk of heart failure and early death. And here's what really stands out. This wasn't just younger people. The effects were strongest in adults over 60. Because as we age, our metabolism slows down, our liver and kidneys work a little harder, and our blood vessels become more sensitive to things like sodium, nitrates, and preservatives. So what might look like a harmless breakfast sausage or a deli sandwich can quietly add up, day after day, until it starts showing as fatigue, joint pain, or rising blood pressure at your next doctor's visit. But here's the good news. Once you know which meats are doing the damage and which ones can actually protect your body, you can turn your health around surprisingly fast. Before we dive into the list, I want to hear from you. What kind of meat do you eat most often? Is it chicken, pork, beef, or something else? Go ahead and tell me in the comments below, because you might be shocked to see where your favorite lands on this list. Now let's get into it. Starting with the number 4, worst meat that most people over 60 eat almost every week, and have no idea what it's really doing inside their body. All right, to make this simple, I've organized everything into a clear countdown, starting with the number 4 worst meat and moving all the way down to the single most dangerous one for people over 60. After that, we'll flip the list, and I'll show you the 4 best meats you can safely enjoy every day to help strengthen your heart, muscles, and memory. Now, I'm not here to scare you. My goal is to give you clarity, because once you understand how certain meats affect your body, especially as you age, it becomes much easier to make smarter choices that actually make you feel better. Here's what researchers are finding. When older adults reduce just a few key types of processed or fried meats, they see dramatic improvements: lower blood pressure, better digestion, even sharper thinking. One long-term study showed that seniors who replaced processed meats with clean, high-quality protein had up to a 44% lower risk of heart disease and dementia. That's a huge difference, and it starts with simple swaps. So as we go through this list, listen carefully and think about which of these meats might be sneaking into your diet more often than you realize, because even cutting back on a few of these everyday favorites can make a real impact within just a few weeks. Ready to start the countdown? Let's begin with number 4. A meat that shows up in millions of American breakfasts, but quietly fuels inflammation, weight gain, and high blood pressure. Let's start the list with a breakfast favorite that most Americans over 60 still eat every week: pork sausage. Now, on the surface, sausage looks innocent enough. It's quick, it's tasty, it's packed with protein. But here's the problem. Most of the sausage sold in grocery stores or served in diners is highly processed. That means it's filled with preservatives, nitrates, sodium, and saturated fat, a combination that quietly strains your heart and kidneys over time. When pork is processed into sausage, it goes through curing, salting, and sometimes smoking. During those steps, chemicals like sodium nitrite turn into compounds called nitrosamines inside your body. Studies have shown these nitrosamines are directly linked to cancer, inflammation, and faster aging, especially in adults over 60, whose detox systems naturally slow down. And that's not all. A single serving of typical breakfast sausage can contain over 1,000 milligrams of sodium, nearly half of your daily limit. For seniors, that kind of salt load can easily push up blood pressure and cause fluid retention, making you feel sluggish or bloated throughout the day. In fact, a large European study found that people who regularly ate processed meats like sausage had a 44% higher risk of early death compared to those who rarely ate them. If you love the flavor, try switching to turkey or chicken sausage made from fresh, minimally processed meat. Or better yet, make your own at home with real herbs and spices. Now, if you think sausage is bad, wait until you hear about the next one. A meat that seems light and convenient, but can quietly harm your heart and brain over time. Next up, another everyday favorite that seems harmless but carries some of the biggest hidden risks for older adults: deli ham and processed cold cuts. Now, I get it. These meats are convenient. They're easy to grab, perfect for a quick sandwich, and they look lean. But don't be fooled by the label. Most deli meats are what doctors call ultra-processed, meaning they're loaded with chemicals to extend shelf life and boost flavor, not your health. Every slice is packed with sodium nitrite, phosphates, and often hidden sugars to make them taste better. Over time, those ingredients can quietly damage blood vessels, trigger inflammation, and make your body more resistant to insulin. All things that raise your risk for heart disease, kidney problems, and even cognitive decline. A major study in the journal Circulation found that people who ate just 2 servings of processed deli meats per week had a 42% higher risk of heart failure. And the risk grew even higher in adults over 60 because our bodies simply can't process all those preservatives the way they once could. And here's something most people don't realize. Even so-called low-sodium or lean cold cuts can still contain chemical additives that stiffen arteries and strain your kidneys. So if you love sandwiches, here's a simple fix. Swap the deli slices for fresh cooked turkey or chicken breast you make at home. You'll get real protein, real flavor, and none of the chemical overload. Now, if deli meat is a silent problem, the next one is an open fire. Literally. Let's talk about the fried favorite that's doing far more damage than most people realize. Coming in at number 2 is one of America's most popular comfort foods, deep fried chicken. Crispy, golden, and satisfying. But behind that crunch lies a serious problem, especially if you're over 60. When chicken is fried in hot oil, especially the kind used in most fast food restaurants, it creates harmful compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These are molecules that cause your cells to stiffen and inflame, speeding up aging in your skin, joints, and even your arteries. And that's just the start. The frying process also oxidizes the oils, meaning they lose their healthy fats and turn into trans fats that can raise your bad cholesterol LDL and lower your good cholesterol HDL. Over time, that combination puts tremendous stress on your heart. One major study from the University of Alabama found that older women who ate fried chicken just once a week had a 13% higher risk of early death, and those who ate it more often saw the risk climb even higher. Plus, most restaurant fried chicken is cooked in the same reused oil over and over again. Oil that breaks down and produces acrylamides, chemicals linked to inflammation and nerve damage. Now, does that mean you have to give up chicken entirely? Not at all. The key is how it's cooked. Choose baked, grilled, or air-fried chicken instead. You'll still get the protein without the artery-clogging byproducts. But here's where it gets tricky. The next meat on our list might look like the healthiest choice on the shelf. Yet it's quietly become one of the most misleading diet foods for older adults. Now, this one might surprise you because for years, it's been called the healthiest meat in America. I'm talking about skinless chicken breast, especially the factory farm kind you'll find in most grocery stores. It's lean, low fat, and packed with protein. So, what could be wrong with it, right? Well, the truth is, not all chicken is created equal. Most of the chicken breast sold today comes from industrial farms where birds are raised in cramped spaces and fed a steady diet of antibiotics, growth enhancers, and cheap grain. Those conditions change the nutritional makeup of the meat itself. Factory farm chicken tends to have less omega 3s, more inflammatory omega 6 fats, and can contain trace antibiotic residues that disrupt your gut health, something that's especially important as we age. Over time, that imbalance can lead to more inflammation, weaker immunity, and even muscle loss. The very thing we eat chicken to prevent. In fact, a study published in Frontiers in Nutrition found that older adults who relied heavily on factory farm poultry had higher markers of inflammation and poorer muscle strength compared to those eating pasture-raised meats. And here's the other issue. When you strip away the skin and fat completely, you also lose nutrients like zinc and vitamin B6, which are vital for your brain, hormones, and immune system. So if chicken is a staple for you, make it quality chicken. Choose organic or pasture-raised options, and don't be afraid to keep a little skin on. That's where many of the healthy fats live. Now that we've covered the 4 worst meats, let's flip the script and talk about the ones that can actually help you live longer, think clearer, and feel stronger every day. So let's take a quick moment to recap what we've learned so far. The truth is, not all meats are created equal. And once you're over 60, your body becomes far more sensitive to what you eat. We started with processed meats like bacon and sausages, the ones loaded with sodium, preservatives, and nitrates that silently raise your blood pressure and weaken your heart. Then we talked about red meats, especially the grain-fed kind, that increase inflammation and can put unnecessary stress on your joints and digestive system. Next came fried chicken, a comfort food classic, but one that fills your body with oxidized oils and hidden trans fats that can age your cells from the inside out. And finally, we uncovered the truth about factory farmed chicken breast, how something marketed as healthy can still carry antibiotic residues and the wrong fat balance for seniors. Each of these foods might seem harmless on their own, but together, they create a perfect storm for inflammation, fatigue, and long-term heart strain. But here's the good news. Once you know what to avoid, the solution becomes simple, because there are meats that actually do the opposite. They protect your heart, boost your strength, support brain health, and keep your metabolism active well into your 70s and beyond. And the best part? You don't need fancy supplements or expensive diets to get those benefits. Just smart choices from your local grocery store or butcher. So now let's flip the list and look at the 4 best meats seniors over 60 should eat daily, starting with a nutrient-packed option that's been proven to support muscle, heart, and brain health naturally. Let's start our best list with one of the healthiest proteins on the planet, wild-caught salmon. Now, this isn't just hype. Study after study has shown that eating salmon 2 to 3 times a week can make a real difference in how you age, from your heart and brain to your skin and joints. Unlike farmed salmon, wild-caught salmon is naturally rich in omega-3 fatty acids, the kind your body can't make on its own. These healthy fats reduce inflammation, keep your arteries flexible, and even support sharper memory and mood. In fact, research from the American Heart Association found that older adults who regularly ate wild fish had up to 30% lower risk of heart disease and cognitive decline. And it's not just about the fats. Salmon is also loaded with vitamin D, B12, and selenium, nutrients that help protect your immune system and boost muscle recovery, something that becomes especially important as we get older. But here's the key part. Quality matters. Farmed salmon often contains artificial dyes, pesticides, and lower omega-3 levels because of the feed they're given. Wild-caught salmon, on the other hand, comes straight from cold, clean waters, making it more nutrient-dense and far safer long-term. If salmon feels a bit pricey, here's a tip. Buy frozen wild salmon fillets. They're often more affordable and just as nutritious as fresh ones. So if you want a simple way to strengthen your heart and mind naturally, a few servings of wild-caught salmon each week can go a long way. Next, we'll talk about another underrated meat that's just as powerful, And it's one most seniors overlook, even though it's probably sitting right in your grocery store. Now let's talk about one meat that often gets a bad reputation: beef. You've probably heard people say, red meat is bad for your heart. And while that can be true for processed or grain fed beef, grass fed beef is a completely different story. See, when cows eat their natural diet, grass, not corn or soy, the quality of their meat changes dramatically. Grass fed beef is leaner, higher in omega 3 fatty acids, and contains up to 5 times more CLA, a type of healthy fat shown to support heart health, reduce inflammation, and even help with fat metabolism. It's also packed with nutrients that older adults need more of, like zinc, iron, and vitamin B12, all of which play a major role in keeping your energy levels high, supporting muscle recovery, and protecting your nerves and brain function. And here's a fact most people don't know. A 2016 Harvard study found that seniors who ate moderate amounts of unprocessed red meat, especially lean cuts like grass-fed sirloin or tenderloin, did not have higher heart risk compared to those who avoided it completely. In fact, they often had better muscle mass and physical performance. The key, as always, is moderation and quality. Stick to 3 to 4 ounce portions, choose grass-fed or pasture-raised labels, and avoid the heavily marbled cuts that are high in saturated fat. So if you enjoy a burger or a steak, there's no need to give it up. Just make it a clean, grass-fed version. Next, we'll look at another protein that's surprisingly powerful for people over 60, one that supports muscle, immunity, and metabolism all at once without weighing you down. Next on our list, and one that often gets overlooked outside the holidays, is turkey. Not the processed deli kind, but real, fresh, lean turkey, especially the breast meat. Turkey is one of the best low-fat, high-protein meats you can eat, especially if you're over 60. It provides your body with clean, steady energy without the heaviness or cholesterol load of fattier meats. And here's the bonus. Turkey is naturally rich in tryptophan, an amino acid that helps produce serotonin and melatonin. That means better mood during the day and deeper sleep at night, 2 things many older adults struggle with. It's also loaded with selenium, which supports thyroid function and immunity, and B vitamins that help your metabolism and memory stay strong. In fact, research from the Journal of Nutrition and Gerontology found that seniors who regularly included lean poultry like turkey in their diet maintained better muscle strength and cognitive performance than those who didn't. Now, the key here is to choose it wisely. Skip the prepackaged or deli-style turkey slices. They're often packed with sodium, preservatives, and hidden sugars that undo the health benefits. Instead, go for fresh roasted or grilled turkey breast, preferably from organic or free-range birds. If you like meal prepping, turkey is perfect. You can cook a large portion once and use it throughout the week in salads, wraps, or soups. It's light, clean, and heart-friendly. A true everyday meat for seniors who want to stay active and alert. But we've still got one more powerhouse protein left, a classic that's been fueling strength and longevity for generations. And finally, our number 1 best meat for people over 60, grass-fed lamb. Now, most folks in the US don't eat lamb often, but it's actually one of the most nutrient-rich, senior-friendly meats you can add to your diet. Unlike many other red meats, grass-fed lamb is loaded with healthy fats, especially omega-3s and conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, both known for reducing inflammation, supporting heart health, and helping preserve lean muscle mass. It's also a fantastic source of iron, zinc, and B vitamins, which are crucial for maintaining strong immunity, mental sharpness, and steady energy as you age. In fact, a 2018 review in Nutrition Research found that older adults who consumed moderate portions of grass-fed lamb had better muscle retention, bone density, and cognitive health compared to those who avoided red meat altogether. Here's another benefit. Lamb is naturally more alkaline forming than most meats. That means it's easier on your digestion and doesn't cause the same acid buildup that can trigger inflammation or heartburn in older adults. And because most lamb in the US is pasture-raised by default, it's far less likely to contain antibiotics or hormones compared to factory-farmed beef or chicken. For best results, look for New Zealand or American grass-fed lamb and stick to lean cuts like leg, loin, or chops. A small portion, about 3 to 4 ounces, a few times a week can help you stay strong, energized, and satisfied. It's one of those rare meats that truly nourishes your body from the inside out. Now that we've covered both sides, the worst meats to avoid and the best ones to enjoy, let's wrap it up with a quick recap and a few simple tips you can start using today. All right, let's bring it all together. If you've been eating meat your whole life, don't worry. This isn't about giving it up. It's about making smarter choices that work with your body, not against it, especially once you're over 60. We started with the 4 worst meats, the ones that quietly harm your heart, joints, and energy levels over time. Processed meats like bacon and sausage, full of sodium and nitrates that raise blood pressure. Grain-fed red meats, heavy on inflammatory fats. Deep-fried chicken, loaded with oxidized oils and trans fats. And factory-farmed chicken breast. A fake healthy choice that can upset your gut and immunity. Then we flipped the script and talked about the 4 best meats your body actually thrives on. Check mark wild-caught salmon for brain and heart health. Check mark grass-fed beef for strength and muscle support. Lean turkey for clean protein and better mood. And grass-fed lamb, the nutrient powerhouse that keeps your body resilient and balanced. Remember, you don't have to overhaul your diet overnight. Start by swapping just 1 or 2 of those worst meats for a better option. Within weeks, you'll likely notice more energy, smoother digestion, and even better sleep. And here's my final tip. Quality always beats quantity. Eat smaller portions, but make them count. Choose clean, well-sourced meats and pair them with colorful veggies, fiber, and water. Your body's been working hard for 60+ years. Now it's time to give it the fuel it truly deserves. Thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more simple, science-backed health tips designed just for seniors. Before you go, let me leave you with one important thought. Small changes add up. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent. If you replace one risky meat with one of the better options we talked about, even twice a week, you'll start seeing benefits, more energy, fewer aches, better sleep. And yes, a lower risk of the serious problems we worry about as we get older. I've worked with hundreds of patients over 60, and the pattern is always the same. When they choose higher quality proteins and cut back on processed or over-fried meats, their blood pressure improves, their labs look better, and they feel more confident moving through each day. That's not hype. It's clinical experience backed by solid research. A quick reminder, focus on quality. Grass-fed, pasture-raised, wild-caught. These labels aren't marketing fluff. They signal real differences in nutrient content and safety. And don't forget variety. Rotate your proteins. Use fish, lean poultry, grass-fed red meat, and occasional organ meat if you tolerate it. Balance them with vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats. If you like this video and want more practical, science-based guidance made for people over 60, hit subscribe. I post short, actionable tips every week designed to help you live better, longer. Thanks for spending these few minutes with me. Make one small swap this week and notice how you feel. Then come back and tell us in the comments. I read them and I really want to hear your progress. Stay curious, stay careful, and above all, stay healthy.